I just want to say thank you to my parents, both my mom and dad, Doug and Susan. They really pushed me throughout this, and they really helped me get through. And I want to thank my brother Nolan as well, because I know he had my back the whole time, so I really appreciate the support from them.
I'd like to thank my friends and family, of course, my brother who brought me from Mexico and raised me here in the United States. I'm very proud to have accomplished the American dream, served 22 great years in the United States Air Force, and then retired. I want to thank all my professors in the art department who have pushed me to be the best graphic designer I could possibly be, and of course the gentlemen, the men and women at the Student Veterans Center.
I would like to thank my parents and my siblings, Jack and Mary Kate, for supporting me through these past 4 years, and my professors, especially in the early childhood education department, who have been nothing but supportive and have been a shoulder to rely on these past 4 years.
I'd like to thank my parents, my sister, all my friends, all the friends I've made in the athletic department throughout these 4 years, and I would especially like to thank my biology professors, and especially Dr. Rick Mullins for helping me figure out what I wanted to do in the future, and for helping me get through some of my challenging times in biology. And I'd also like to thank my research professor, Dr. Wetzel.
3 years ago, I started on this journey in the counseling department. Dr. Rhonda Norman is the chair, and I would just love to thank all of my professors. They have made my experience wonderful, well worth every penny. Carolyn Aki Moore. I can't even name them right now, but they have all been so wonderful to me, and I'm just so wonderful and been blessed to have went on this path, this journey to becoming a school counselor.
I think a lot about my mom. She helped me edit a lot of my papers. I don't think my assignments would be as polished without her and her support, and she would always send me articles about international things whenever I had a project, so I always appreciated that. And the community I made here at Xavier with like the Ultimate Frisbee team, and that just kind of made me feel welcomed and loved. So I think that without that, I wouldn't have been in a different place right now. So I'm very appreciative of it.
I'd like to thank my mom, my dad, all the girls at 1924, and all the friends I've met through the different clubs and organizations I've been a part of.
I want to thank my friends, family, my professors. A special shout out to Amy Wilson. She was my first nursing clinical instructor, and she really just pushed me through the start of nursing.
I'd like to thank my mom, my dad, my brother, and my sister for all their support through the last 4 years. I know it wasn't easy, but we made it. Here we are, so.
I'd like to thank my parents, my entire family, all the friends that I've met, and I'd like to thank Candy Fisher because she made a lot of bad days really good days.
So I would want to thank my family and friends, my academic advisor, and my clinical instructor, Julie Harris, for getting me where I am today and the job that I have after graduation.
I would like to thank all the friends that I met while I was here that made the experience so great for me. And I would like to thank all of the teachers and professors in the biology department for helping me through and get to the end. And specifically, I would like to thank Dr. Ray and Dr. Wetzel.
Definitely, I want to thank my mother. I want to thank my father. I want to thank all the friends that I met here, just giving me the confidence and coming out a different person from freshman year.
I just want to thank my parents for supporting me and for giving me the opportunity to go to Xavier University. My best friends, who I've lived with for most of my college career and who have just really supported me and loved me every step of the way and made me feel comfortable and more myself throughout my life. And then also my mentors, my professors, who have really pushed me outside of my comfort zones and challenged me to make the most of my academics and then my future steps after college.
I would like to thank my parents for giving me my education and for giving me a Jesuit education. I would like to thank the Jesuits and my roommates and my friends for supporting me throughout my college experience.
Thank you to my mom, my dad, my sister, my grandparents, and everyone who supported me on my way.
I want to say a huge thank you to my parents, my grandparents, my entire family for supporting me. I especially want to thank Tom Suthers from DeSmet Jesuit High School back home in St. Louis, and everyone else who has supported me from there through these years. And I want to say another big thank you to Dr. O'Hara, both Doctors O'Hara here in the History Department at Xavier University.
Hi, Mom and Dad. Thank you so much for supporting me these past 4 years. Go Muskies. I'd like to thank the Physics Department and ROTC for all the opportunities they give me throughout my time in college.
I'd like to thank the amazing Finance Department for all the opportunities they've created for me.
I just want to thank my parents for all the support and guidance in both the easy and hard times, especially my older sister. She kind of really showed the way how to do a lot of stuff, how to get through the college experience, and just want to thank all the friends for anything from late night snacks to sports games, just so many great memories, and just been such an incredible experience.
I want to thank my parents, a lot of the teachers that kind of encouraged us along the way, a lot of my friends that kind of also pushed us to do bigger, better things.
I would like to thank my Nana and my Baba for supporting me throughout this journey and believing in me more than I believed in myself.
I guess I want to thank my family first. Mom, Dad, Matt, Gina, Tina, even the dog Patty. I mean, you guys really got me through, the 4 years, and you've always been there for me, and I can't really thank you enough. Laura helping me get through, athletics, kind of, being a role model for me, showing me the ways of working through sports and media. You've been there and you've always had my back, so I want to thank you for that.
I want to thank my grandma for paying for my college. Thank you. And my mom and my dad also for always supporting me. Thank you.
I'd like to thank my parents, my grandparents, my aunt and uncle, and my little sister as well. Thank you all for all your help. You guys, I wouldn't be here without you.
I would like to thank my parents, the various friends I've made at this university, and the faculty and staff who have supported me.
Well, I'd like to thank my mom and dad for helping me with my education and getting me this far into higher education. They helped me a lot in school, and so I really appreciate both of you. I want to thank some mentors at Xavier, including Maria Merrill in the Center for Diversity and Inclusion, and Susan Pelly. You're both amazing, and I couldn't have gotten this far without you. And I'd like to thank all of my professors. You are amazing, and I've enjoyed each and every one of your classes.
I'd like to thank my mom and dad for always supporting me every step of the way.
I would like to thank my friends and family foremost for all of the love and support that they have given me over the past 4 years. There have been so many incredible people that have crossed my path at Xavier, particularly John Stowell, the Newswire advisor. Thank you for always supporting me and being my #1 fan, and Maria Merrill in the Center for Diversity and Inclusion for always being a mentor and a calming presence in my life.
I'd like to thank my parents, my family, and all of my friends.
I would like to thank my parents, Mama and Bobo, my grandparents, Nanu Gitu, my brothers and sisters, Budio Haya, and all of my teachers here at Xavier. You have truly taught me a lot. Thank you.
So I would just like to thank my mom and my dad and everybody else who's made my dream possible. Without you guys, I wouldn't be here and I wouldn't be at the finish line, so thank you.
I'd like to send a special thank you to my family back home, especially my mom and my dad for supporting me these past some years. Thank you to Xavier and all the services that they provided to help me succeed.
I just want to thank my mom, my dad, my stepdad, Dan, and my grandpa and my grandma.
I just want to thank definitely my grandma, my mom and my dad, my boyfriend and his family, and my sibling, and just everyone who kind of ushered me along to try this process.
I would like to thank my mom and my grandma for always believing in me, and I'd like to thank my boyfriend Keegan for helping me get through the bad times through school.
Yeah, I'd like to thank my mom and my dad for helping me get through everything, and also my girlfriend Sydney, who helped me sane through all the extra things I did here at Xavier, including research.
I would love to thank all my nursing professors, especially Jackie. She was such a mentor to me sophomore year. Also, Dr. Timothy Quinn. I took your metaphysics class, and it was life-changing, and that you let me into an honors class was an amazing experience, and just mentoring me through that whole class. yeah, just all my friends and professors that got me through.
I really like to thank all of my professors. I feel like the criminal justice program at Xavier has great professors that follow you the whole 4 years. My advisor, Cheryl, she's great. Hurst is really great. Pretty much everybody in the field that you could think of that teaches here is really, really great. So I would like to thank all of them for helping me through these 4 years.
I'd like to thank my parents and my grandma Memes and my whole family for supporting me through this journey, as well as all the wonderful faculty and staff at Xavier Theater who have been my biggest fans.
I'd like to thank my family, especially my mom and dad. No way I would have been able to do this without them.
I would like to thank Professor Newkirk in the accounting department for helping me declare my accounting major.
I'd like to thank my parents, also Professor Frankel, Professor Johnson, and Professor Heidi.
I'd like to thank my parents and also Dr. Stinson and Dr. Spies.
I would like to thank Dr. Leslie Rasmussen for convincing me to add a PR major.
I would like to thank Professor Klippinger and Professor McGrath for helping me fall in love with nursing.
I would like to thank my mom and dad and my brothers for supporting me along this journey, and I wouldn't have been able to do it without you.
First off, thank my family and most of all my friends as well.
I would like to thank my family and also my friends. They have made my experience at Xavier one that I will cherish for the rest of my life and memories they'll never forget.
Obviously, mom, dad, sister, they've been through thick and thin with me. All my roommates, Sean, Ryan, Spencer, Xavier, the other Ryan, Nikki and Kara, obviously couldn't do anything without them. So just wanted to say thank you to them.
I would like to thank all my friends, all the professors that really helped me get to this point, as well as my family, of course. They're the number one thing throughout college. Yep.
I would like to thank my family and friends and everyone that's been there for me over the 4 years, and everyone that I just saw on campus smiling. They would just make my day walking to class and everything.
I want to thank all the people who have supported me on this journey, my parents, my friends, my teachers, all the girls in 1924. Just thank you for everything.
I would like to thank all of my family and friends and professors who've supported me these past 4 years, and I'm so grateful for all of the opportunities and invaluable experiences I've had at Xavier.
I'd like to thank my parents and all the friends who've helped me over the years through everything that I've had to go through, deal with, turn in, and read. I'd like to thank my parents and my brother and my best friends for getting me through all 4 of my years.
I would like to thank my parents and my siblings, as well as my grandparents, my boyfriend, and all of my friends.
Yeah, I'd like to thank my mom, my dad, and especially my grandparents for helping pay my way through college and supporting me every step of the way.
I'd like to thank my family who supported me, my friends who stood behind me, and the organizations I was involved in on campus, such as PPP and student government and everything else that I've been involved in. They have shaped me and pushed me, and they have shown me and helped me find my passion and desire.
I'd first like to thank my parents for going through the financial hardship they have in order to put me through high school and also Xavier. I know it's been tough, but it's going to pay off in the long run, and I really thank you for that. All the friends that I've met through this process, you guys are the best friends I've ever had in my life, and I also like to thank all the professors that I've had that have gotten me to the point where I am. I'd also like to thank my godfather, Uncle Mark, who recently passed away. Thank him for his leadership and showing me how it is to be a man.
First off, I'd like to thank my parents for putting me through Xavier. Secondly, I'd like to thank all my friends that I've met here, especially my house, and all my roommates that I've had at my four-year experience at Xavier. And then I'd like to thank all my professors that developed me and turned me into the man I am today.
I first would like to thank my Lord and Savior God, Jesus Christ. Thank you for everything you have done for me. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. I also would like to thank my family, all my loved ones, my friends. I would like to thank my friends that I have gained over my 4 years here at Xavier, and also my frat brothers, Yo, and thank you.
Thank you, Mom and Dad, and the rest of my family for supporting me to get here. I would not have been able to play at this level without you guys, and all of the traveling and all the time spent elsewhere to get me here was much appreciated.
I just want to thank my friends and my family, both here and distance, and especially my care team at Xavier, who have helped me so much along the way, and especially my advisor, Victoria Zascavage, for all of the advice.
Thanks, Mom, Dad, Josh, and Jason. Couldn't have done this without you.
Thanks, Mom and Dad, for getting me through college. I love you.
I'd like to thank my mom, my dad, my grandpa, and my entire family for all their help and support throughout my 4 years at Xavier. I'd like to thank my mom, my grandmom, my grandpa, my brother McGuire, my brother Michael, my sister Madison, my sister McLean, and my dog Arbor.
I'd like to say thank you to my family and my Xavier friends for supporting me through this journey.
I'd like to thank my parents for supporting me through my career here at Xavier, as well as my friends for being a real support through all the difficult times.
I would like to thank my family, especially my mom. They've been a wonderful support to me, and I can't ask for any better motivation or better help from them.
Thank you to my grandparents and my mom and dad for supporting me all these years.
Thank you to my parents and my siblings for all the support through all of the years of school.
I would like to thank my parents, and I would also like to thank my grandparents. I think they would be very proud to see everything I have accomplished in the past 4 years.
I would like to thank my parents for their overwhelming support during my last 4 years here. And I would also like to thank my friends for just being awesome and supportive. And lastly, I would love to thank the Xavier Theater Program for making me who I am today.
I want to thank my parents and my grandparents for supporting me over the last 4 years. I also want to thank my boyfriend Richie, little sister Kelsey, and little brothers Liam and Jackson for always making me smile and giving me a reason to keep going.
So people I want to thank for my time at Xavier would be definitely my parents, and then my grandma and my grandpa, who unfortunately isn't here right now, but just for giving me the support and strength to be where I'm at today.
I'd like to thank my family for always being there, my rugby team, Raise Life, and the whole international community. Thank you.
I would love to thank my parents for getting me into college and pushing me to go to college, and also my sister for helping me with everything.
I would like to thank my brother, Bobby, graduate of 2016, for coming to Xavier, inspiring me to be a nurse and helping me grow, not only as a person, but a nurse as well.
I'd love to thank my family. My brother, he's also a grad from Xavier, and he kind of set that path for me, set those expectations. My sister, she was back home in Buffalo, but she was so supportive through the 4 years. And my parents, they FaceTime me every Sunday, which is always fun to talk to them and kind of have that push going into the next week.
I'd like to thank my parents for supporting me throughout my whole life, especially these past 4 years, and my brother Kyle for also being there for me, and all my grandparents and my best friend Brianna for always being someone I can call.
I want to say thank you to my mom for being so supportive. I know I wouldn't be where I am today without you, and thank you to my Xavier friends for always standing by my side through thick and thin.
I would like to thank my family for their support, all of my friends here and from home, and all the professors that really worked with me throughout all my 4 years.
I want to thank my parents and my family, specifically my mom and my dad. I wouldn't be here without you, and I love you guys so much.
I want to thank my mom, my family, and also the university that's helped me through this whole thing, and also like any stuff I've had with recovery teams for my issues before coming to university and getting through all this.
I would like to say thank you to my advisors, my professors, and my family and my friends, and especially my parents who've sacrificed so much for me to be the first to graduate from college.
I would like to thank my parents and my professors, as well as my roommates and the friends that I made at Xavier.
Biggest thank you, of course, to my parents. This is not possible without them. Thank you to me for getting through all this work. This is not easy. Thank you to my roommates, a lot of whom have been with me all 4 years or the past 2 years. Thank you to all my roommates. You guys have helped me through some tough times. And thank you to my friends, Constance and Jamie.
I want to say thank you to my mom, my grandma, and my grandpa. You guys have been my biggest supporters, and I wouldn't have been able to get here without you.
First, I'd like to thank my parents for giving me the opportunity to be at such a great school at Xavier. They both graduated from here in '91, and I have really gotten a great education and a lot of wonderful friends and memories from here that will last a lifetime. I'd like to thank my professors and teachers who not only wrote letters of recommendations for me, but set me up for internships, whether that be in politics or law around the city. And I'd like to thank my friends as well, because without them, Xavier just wouldn't be the same.
I would like to thank my family, but more specifically my mom, for all the effort to getting me here.
So first, I would like to thank, my parents, my brother, my grandparents, basically my entire family for being my support system. My close friends here at Xavier, the club lacrosse team here, you guys have really helped me through some tough times. We've been through our ups and downs. And then I guess the last person I would thank is Dr. Amy Van Horn for getting me introduced to marketing, and that really introduced me to the marketing world and made me pick my major.
I want to thank Dr. Maxian. She's the one who kind of got me into the comm department. I wasn't really sure when I first started out what my major was going to be. I thought I was going to be marketing, and then the marketing professor directed me towards the comm department, and I met Dr. Maxian, and she's always just made me feel content with my major and letting me know that communications is a degree that can be applied to multiple areas in your life. So, and it's gotten me really far. With my advertising major, now working with a really well-known advertising agency. So I'd like to thank Dr. Maxian.
I would like to thank my parents and my sister.
I would like to thank Dr. Henning and the philosophy department, because she's helped me through a lot of stuff. Also my parents, because I wouldn't be here without them, or my sibling Aubrey.
I want to thank my advisor, Liz. I work for her in the Office of Student Involvement, and I've honestly never had an advisor that feels more like a friend to me, and I just want to thank her for supporting me through every step of the way. I also want to thank my friends. They're the best, and I couldn't have done it without them.
I would like to thank not just my parents for supporting me, but also all my professors and faculty here, especially Dr. Wagner.
I'd like to thank my mom and my dad for giving me this opportunity, the rest of my family, my friends, my boyfriend for supporting me and always believing in me, and all the professors that have helped me along the way.
I want to thank my mom and dad for always believing in me and giving me this opportunity, and I also want to thank my family and friends for always supporting me, and I love you all so much.
I'd like to thank my family, especially my mom and dad.
I would like to thank my friends and family, all the friends I've made here at Xavier, and all of my professors, including Karen Utzler, Dr. Kate Loveland, Dr. Joel Acey, and Scott Beck.
I would just like to give a shout out to my mom and my sisters who got me here, and you guys all owe me money because I did graduate.
I would like to thank my family for their constant support, as well as my friends and the professors that have gotten me to where I am today.
I'd like to thank all of my family, friends, and professors who have supported me unconditionally these past couple years.
I'd like to thank my family and friends for helping me out throughout these last 4 years.
Thank you to my family and my professors who have always supported me.
I would like to thank my parents for helping me along the way being at Xavier and always supporting my decision to come here and pursue my dreams.
I'd like to thank my friends for being a great support here at Xavier and for making the Xavier community what it is.
I'd like to thank my family for getting me to Xavier and through college, as well as my friends for making Xavier feel like home.
I want to give a special thanks to my father, my mother, my family in general, and just thanks to God for allowing me to come upon this opportunity.
Thank you to my mom, my dad, my sister, my brother. I love y'all. Thank you for supporting me. I appreciate y'all.
I want to thank my mom, my dad, my godmother, my grandparents, and Julie Nelson, all of which who I wouldn't be here without. And then I want to thank my friends for keeping me here, because they're great.
I'd like to thank my mom, dad, sister, all of my family, my friends, my teachers, and everyone who has supported me throughout my 4 years at Xavier.
I would like to thank my mom, my dad, my brother, all my family, my boyfriend, my friends, and everyone who supported me along the way.
I want to thank God. I want to thank Mom, Dad, Jerome, Ariel, the rest of my family, church family, and whoever helped me to get along.
I wanted to thank my family, all of my friends, and my husband, who's been super supportive throughout my degree.
Some thank yous. I would like to thank my mom and dad, my two sisters, my friends from back home, some of the great friends I've made here, and especially my roommates, Aiden, Kataro, Luke, Noah, and Nick. Yeah, that's who I would like to thank.
I really want to thank my mom and dad for always being there, being my soundboard whenever I need some advice or whenever I'm just excited. They're always there to congratulate me. And I also want to thank my friends for always being there as well. There's nothing more satisfying than having a friend that I can get excited with, get rowdy with, jump on the couches with, get excited. So I really appreciate those two.
I'd like to say thank you, first and foremost, to my parents and my little brother for always pushing me to
stay true to myself and keep going. I'd like to say thank you to my family back in El Paso and in Mexico for making me stay true to myself and kind of reminding me of who I really am and who I really stand for.
I just want to say thank you to my mom and dad for supporting me through these past 4 years of college.
Thank you to my mom and dad and my family for supporting me, and thanks to my friends.
I'd like to thank my mom, my dad, my family, and friends for the constant support.
I would like to thank my parents and my younger brother, Max, for all of their support, and all my friends that I met here at Xavier for just the constant support that I get from them.
I'd like to thank my family and friends.
I would like to thank my parents and my grandparents who have always supported me along the way and for continuing to support me as I start my career.
I would like to thank my mom, my dad, my sister, and all my family and friends.
I want to say thank you to my mom. She's always been my biggest supporter, and she's the reason that I'm independent and the reason that I'm still standing here today. So
I'm thankful for my family and friends who have supported me along the way, and I'm just thankful for all of their love. And they have always been by my side for me.
I'd like to thank my mom, my dad, my stepmom, all of my 5 siblings, and all of my friends, the Strables, the Marinos, and the Sheevies.
Some people I'd like to thank are my mom, my dad, all of my siblings and grandparents and friends throughout this time.
I would like to thank my friends, family, and professors for all of the continuous support throughout my journey here at Xavier.
I'd like to thank my friends and my family for pushing me through and just supporting me to get to this point. But most importantly, a huge thank you to my mom and my dad for just being there every step of the way, financially, mentally, and just as my parents.
I'd like to thank my friends, my family, and my professors for all believing in me and sticking with me through the end.
I'd like to say thank you to my family, especially my parents who've always supported me, all of my friends, and especially my best friend, Sierra.
Les quiero dar mil gracias a mi familia, especialmente a mi mamá y papá. Es un gran orgullo para todos nosotros. Gracias a ustedes por empujarme siempre, decirme de echarle ganas y seguir este gran medito.
I'd like to thank my mom and my dad and all the friends I've made along the way and every professor that helped me out and stayed after.
I would like to send a huge thank you out to my mom and my dad and my 3 siblings, Liz, Nick, and Ben. Thank you so much for all the love and support throughout these 3.5 years at college and throughout my entire life. And thank you to all my friends here and back home that have helped me throughout my time here at Xavier.
I'd like to thank my mom and dad and my twin brother and all my friends at Xavier for getting me through these 4 years. I really appreciate it.
I would like to thank my parents, my family and friends that I have met along the way, and Dr. Thomas Nestricht in the Early Childhood Education Department.
I would like to thank my parents and my younger brothers and all of the amazing educators I've had along the way in the theater department and everywhere else across campus.
I would like to thank my parents and my little brother Jeremy, as well as Dr. Thomas Nestricht, who guided me through college and made me the woman who I am today.
I would like to thank my mom, my dad, my family, my friends, and my partner for just continuing to support me through this very long process. So,
I would like to thank my parents. I'd like to thank my brother. I'd like to thank my grandparents and my Nana. And I would like to thank professors like Dr. Morton, Dr. Cottrell, and Dr. Bucher, who helped me through my 4 years at Xavier in the mathematics program and have inspired who I want to be and what kind of teacher I want to be.
I would like to thank my family for supporting me throughout college as a first-generation college student. And I would also like to give a huge thank you to Dr. Jaylene Schaefer and Dr. Shayla Larkin for helping me find my passion.
I'd like to thank all of my professors. They were all very helpful. I'm an APEX student, so I'd also like to especially thank the APEX office and Patricia Meyer for walking all of us APEX students through everything.
First, I'd like to thank my parents. They've always been there for me. They helped me, get to college, and they've helped me throughout college. I'd also like to thank my friends. They've been here with me and been a lot of fun to hang out with. My girlfriend, it's really been a phenomenal experience overall.
I want to say a special thank you to Dad.
I want to say a special thank you to my grandmother, Nanny.
I want to give a special thank you to Mima and all our friends and family. We love y'all.
We love you.
I'd like to thank my parents, Ann and Don Williams, my sister, Lavinia Williams, and the rest of my family for being so supportive these past 4 years. I'd like to thank my friends, shout out Kataro, Aiden, Nick, Noah, and Ryan. And I'd like to thank Professor Steve Frankel, Professor Staff Johnson, and Professor Kathleen Heidi for being great leaders of the Smith Scholars Program. Can't wait to see what it's like in the future. Thanks so much, X.